Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's the last edition of Spring Trends on Western Spring Television. This is where we talk about everything and everyone trending. What's trending, who's trending, why they are trending, and what people are saying about the situation. And we get all of this from social media. My name is EVELYN, OHIOLEI, and of course I have FEMI in the building.
Thank you. Good morning.
Bienvenue, Femi. You know what that is?
That should be welcome, right?
Yeah. Don't worry, I will teach you more, even though I myself, I'm a novice. But then, welcome people.
Thank you.
Let's take our very first story for this morning. And this story is centered around calls for Nigerians to bear arms, to legalize people to carry arms, and this is for defense purpose. We had Senator Nadu Walker from Delta State actually raised that situation yesterday in an interview. Let's watch this video. We'll come back to take reactions.
An opportunity. I mean, you just condemn everybody. You think everybody is corrupt. You think the kings are corrupt. You think the DPOs are corrupt. You think the doctors are corrupt. You think the local government chairmen are corrupt. You think anybody will just go there and pay the money and get those certifications. No. We must start to lay a foundation for growth in this country. You know, so if you want to get a license, let me ask you this. Would you want to own a gun yourself? Would you want to be able to defend yourself if you are attacked by armed robbers or by kidnappers in your own home? Would you want to be able to defend your children and your wife if you are attacked? I mean, you're telling me, no, you don't want to handle a gun. If you don't want to handle a gun, that's your problem. Then don't handle a gun. But there are many people out there who want to be given the opportunity to defend themselves. So I speak on behalf of those ones, not for people like you who might not want to have a gun, who are vulnerable, but you want to remain vulnerable. But you know that the police and the military cannot defend you. So look, as I said before, out there, there are already a proliferation of arms in the hands of kidnappers and armed robbers and bandits. So you just want them to continue? But you know also that the other alternative is to keep funding the military, keep funding the police, but we're not getting anywhere. Because before you and me, over the years, you know that in this country, that system has failed. The system has almost collapsed. Look, about 3 months ago, my SLA in National Assembly was kidnapped. 3 months ago. Up till now.
All right, that's Senator Nadu Walker in that interview saying that people should be allowed to carry arms. And according to him, 3 months ago, his SLA at the National Assembly was kidnapped. Until this very moment, he has not been found. And he said it's okay if you do not want to carry arms, if you want to be vulnerable, fine. But for people like us that want to defend ourselves, want to defend our family, we should be allowed to get licensed to carry arms and defend ourselves and our family. Nigerians have actually reacted to that statement by Senator Nadu Walker. Let's see what they are saying. All right, on X, Iruana_ says, the average Nigerian is angry. Legalizing guns is a disaster waiting to happen. The country should instead focus their efforts on empowering our security so the public will not see the need to get guns. And also at Love Tricia 630 says, there is a psychology to gun use that I do not know if Nigerians are ready for. Yes, we need to fight insecurity, but you also may just be arming a jealous wife or girlfriend or man or a depressed teenager or a broken-hearted lover, etc. Well, people say when we get there, we will find a way out, but just look at the US. Gun violence kills more than even wars. And at Lions and Beers says, gun licenses are not given to random people, but responsible adults. My dad owned one. It saved our lives during 2 robbery attacks. For decades, nobody killed anyone with his gun. If you prefer a Nigeria where only Fulanis carry guns to murder the rest of us, good luck to you. And that is totally at Lions and Beers' opinion on social media. Let me come to Femi in the studio. What do you think? Do you think Nigerians should be allowed to carry guns? And also some people have said this looks like an elitist approach to solving this issue of insecurity, because how many Nigerians can actually afford a gun at this time? People are still looking for money to get what to eat.
Yeah.
Now you're telling them to get guns. Guns is not sold at 100 naira in the market.
Let me take it from this point. It's not like that piece of legislation or that bill, when it's passed, is compelling people to get a gun. It's just legalizing that perhaps you are interested, you are okay to go and get a gun, you know, go through all the process. So it's not like once it's passed, everybody must go and get a gun. It's still left to you to get a gun. But then I agree with that opinion that maybe is elitist in approach, yeah, because it doesn't come cheap, except you want to buy the ding guns around. And I'm not sure people
want to, around while
just a shot, and that's all for the day till you get it reloaded. But then it shows the failure of the system, because this is self-help. Let's just call it what it is. It is self-help. People resorting to not to believe that the system can protect them. So I'd rather protect myself. It is a survival instinct, by the way. Everybody has that. Survival is key. That's #1 thing. But then somebody mentioned people that are mentally...
the psychology to guns.
Yeah, the psychology to these. We have many people that are angry, you know, perpetually angry because of what is happening to them and around them. Now, guns in the hands of angry and, you know, frustrated people, I'm sure that's not a good way to go. But then looking at that bill, according to Nedun Woko, it said there must be a certification or certificate from your local government chairman, from respected people in the community to confirm that this guy is a stable guy. And, you know, the commissioner of police, or the DPO rather, sorry, the DPO must certify that. So you have to go through many processes to certify. And many persons said, you know, there is this anyhowness around us here in which people try to get their way around things. Do you think people will not just sort one or two many persons and they don't really have to go through those things? Somebody will just be there like a merchant to say, just give me the money, I will help you to collect this certificate.
Another industry.
Yeah, and the people who sorts, racketeers, just let me have the certificate and you're in the confines of your... Is it not this country that you have blind people having driver's license? These are the issues. What do they want to do with it? But it is what it is. But I think the approach is his own approach. He thinks that might help, but he's elitist. But I'm not sure that is the answer to the situation in which we find ourselves now. Even US, that is more organized, that the system is more organized, that they are practicing some of these things. Yeah. Some of them are calling for legislation to pull away
those guns.
These guns, because guns, you know, is just like power. Power intoxicates, and absolute power intoxicates absolutely. You know how people just do. Even the guns in the hand of police, sometimes they aim it at you just to frighten you, and this thing goes off. Now imagine people that are not trained as security personnel just having to get guns in their hands. And in the popular words of one musician, say, guns don't kill people, people kill people.
All right, let's move to our next story for today. And the next story for today is talking about the prosecution. I mean, we heard that the EFCC has been able to get court prosecution for an actress who was seen spraying and stepping on new naira notes during a party. You know, EFCC actually took to their social media handle to announce that the court has jailed this actress, Chukwujeku Aneke. I beg your pardon, Oluwadarasimi Omoseyin, that's the justice named Chukwujeku Aneke of the Federal High Court sitting in Ikoyi, Lagos on Thursday, February 1st, 2024, convicted and sentenced one Oluwadarasimi Omoseyin, an actress, to 6 months imprisonment for spraying and stepping on the new naira note at a social event in Lagos. I mean, when that happened, when arrest actually took place, it elicited a whole lot of controversies because people think that she is just one out of too many and she is being made to be a scapegoat. But let's see what the Nigerians are saying on social media. At Norix on X says, Nigeria, this is the same act. This same act is done all over Lagos every single weekend. Selective law enforcement, he calls it. And at EVELYN NXU1 says she did that when the whole country is cashless and suffering for cash. So I think she deserves what she's getting now. And at Polly2570 says, when are you going to get some convictions on those looters transferring government money into private accounts and those hiding monies in empty mansions in Abuja? Femi, what is your take? We see videos online every weekend, celebrities, you know, spraying money, throwing money in the air, stepping on these currencies. And not for once, after, you know, the arrest of this actress, Oluwadarasimi, have we seen the EFCC go after those people? Because there is even evidence, we have video evidence, pictorial evidence on social media of these people. So do you think it's just selective prosecution?
That is what it is, actually. But then let's establish the fact that if somebody has stolen and the person has been caught and others are stealing and they have not been caught, that doesn't invalidate the fact that the person that has stolen is no more a thief. Now, it becomes a moral burden on the handlers and who is trying to call people to question to say, why will you arrest this person and not arrest others? It becomes selective, and that's selective justice, which is more like injustice, you know, on the general society, by the way. And these are the issues. We see these things. It happens every time to popular people, popular politicians, popular musicians. If our politicians go to parties, you know, people in government go to parties and then, you know, they spend money. It has been happening. Somebody said maybe because the people were not having cash and she was having cash, you know, and spraying it and stepping on it. This is till yesterday. These things are still happening. Still happens. This weekend, it will continue to happen.
And people post the videos on social media.
These are the issues. You even see vendors carrying a huge amount of money to parties for people to patronize them so that they can spray to show their opulence, to show influence, to show that now we day here. So, you know, I want to say is in our culture to express, you know, how big we are. But then if it's illegal, Omoshendio was her name. She's not the only person since more than a year or thereabout or two. She's not the only person after the Naira redesign. Are they saying EFCC is she just like a scapegoat to send warnings to others? You know, selective justice to me on the general community, on the general society is still injustice, but that doesn't make it right. I mean,
these are what they should be talking on their radio station.
But they have a radio already, so
we hope their guests to be able to call them to question as to, you know, the selective justice.
And if actually they want to make a scapegoat, they should make it with the big guns, not just somebody somewhere. They should make it with the big guns because they're the one doing it. They don't even spend it in pieces. They spend it in bail. These are the issues. Yeah. All
right, we move to our very next story, and this is speaking to insecurity, especially on the plateau, as we have learned that the government of Plateau State has constituted a committee to handle security-related issues in the state and make appropriate recommendations to the government on the steps to take. In that particular memo, you can see the names of the members of this committee, the chairman and the members. But let's see Nigerians' reaction to this development. Was popping on X says, this is the list of the 10-man committee that Plateau State has assigned to handle security-related issues in the state. All of them have one thing in common. They are all Christians. The governor expects a committee mainly composed of Christians to oversee a security issue that involves both Muslims and Christians. And at IM_Muizolu says, this is a matter of life and security, not religious. If the 10-man committee are capable enough to oversee the affair, then they should do it if they do not believe in God. You should not be instigating unnecessary talks and arguments. The president and vice president of the federation are Muslims, and they are overseeing the affairs of both Christians and Muslims. What should the traditional believers do? Let's call a spade and not use everything as agenda. And this lengthy one at Aqualantis says it is important to have a fair and balanced representation of such committees, as both committees are affected by the violence in Plateau State. Building trust and open communication between Christian and Muslim communities is crucial. Engaging in dialogue, addressing security concerns, and working together on security solutions can foster collaboration and build a more peaceful future. That being said, now the question is, how can Muslims not be included in such committee if Mutfwang really intend to find a lasting solution to the conflict?
Yeah, I think it's a reality to always look at every thing, every directive, every action and inaction of the government through religious prism, tribal prism, and the rest of it. I'm not sure it's good for us. You think we have moved on, we should have evolved, but then, based on our reality as a people, I think that consideration should have been done, because it doesn't really have to upset people. People should not be upset on these issues. I think is a thing, if actually it's correct that all of them are from a particular religion, it could be reviewed. So the aim is to have peace. Right. So the least should not just upset the peace they are trying to have in the first place as well. All
right, because it's the weekend, in just 1 minute, we are going to take this last story, talking about some weird things that have happened to you as a Nigerian in the most craziest of places. And, you know, let's see. This person has been on the score, but Shale says, few years ago, I entered a bus demotion with my sister. Getting down at the bus stop, one handsome guy pushed me with his body. The guy apologized in fluent English. And I tell my sister, I said, the guy is cute. She asked me to check my bag. My crush don't collect is Dario. And this one at Adaiti_1 says, was in front seat of Danfo approaching some officers. The seatbelt was not working, so the driver just took it and wrapped around my neck. My neck like rope. The officers looked at me and nodded in approval before waving at us. I didn't know which one shocked me more. And at Abiodun_Toby says, conductor gave me uppercut for spoiling his door the day before. I was entering Lagos for the first time in my life that day. These are the wildest and craziest things in Lagos State. Femi, do you have any experience? If you can do this in 30 seconds.
Going through that thread, I saw a particular, especially in Lagos, somebody said, I'm sorry, that around 5:30 a.m. or thereabout, she or he entered a particular vehicle. You see, I can't even express myself because it's very funny. And the person entered because everywhere was dark around 5 a.m. Around 6:30, they got somewhere only for them to look at the driver. The driver was stark naked. Nigerians are interesting people. Come for show, eh? God bless Nigeria. Have a fabulous weekend.
All right,
we have to go.
A fabulous weekend. Like you call it, Lagos is where you see the craziest and wildest of things. Yeah. My name is EVELYN OHIOLEI. Enjoy your weekend and ensure to extend a hand of love to your neighbor. Have yourself a beautiful weekend.
Right.